Hey YouTube, hope that everybody is doing well today. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, everybody. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the power of your words, continuing onward to our series of spiritual protection. So we're going to talk about how powerful our tongue actually is. We're going to be talking about how our words can empower us or how they can be destructive. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So to start us off, you guys, I want to talk about the power of the tongue. A lot of us do not know how powerful our tongue is and just how powerful our words are. One thing I want to touch upon is the fact that when we're spelling things out, even the fact that it's called spelling, when we're spelling out words, why are the letters called spelling as we're making words? Thinking about these things, in that same token, the word spell being used to maybe cast goodwill or to cast harm upon someone by setting that intention. So thinking about that, the deeper meaning, just by that word alone, spell and spelling, is telling us just how powerful our words are. Okay, so going inward to the power of the tongue, when we recognize this and we talk about it, we realize that we have the power to bless or to curse by our tongue and our words by themselves. And one thing I want to say too is that a lot of the times we may do this unconsciously. So you guys, I want to share two stories with you just to get us started. So the first story is going to be about myself. So this is internally. When I was in college, I was taking stats. Now, I really don't like math. I've never been a fan of geometry, trigonometry, algebra, whatever it is, just not my cup of tea. So I was at the point where I was taking this stats class over and over again. This was my third time taking it in my senior year, and I've never repeated a class, but for some reason, this stats was just not my thing. So during that last year when I was repeating it for the third time, what I did was I just said, like, I'm going to pass it this time. I'm going to pass it. I kept saying that over and over and over again. Not only did I keep saying that, but I also started studying more. And then I also did an exercise where I just wrote down the whole entire page of paper. I passed statistics. I passed statistics. I kid you not, I passed that class. What's crazy is the prior years when I was taking it, I was not doing those same things. I was studying a little bit more, but I was not setting the intention with my words. So that was an example of just saying how powerful it is if we're setting the intention and then putting our effort in at the same time. It's a very powerful combo. Now, on the flip side, you guys, I want to talk about an experience on the external where words were used to not bless someone, but perhaps on the flip side to curse them. And this is from one of my friends. So one of my friends, we have like a group chat, and what happened was there were some robberies that were happening in the area that two of my other friends live in. So one of the friends sent to the group chat and they said, hey, like, I just want to let you guys know that there's some break-ins happening in the area that these two other friends lived in. And they just said, just be on the lookout. Now, here's the thing. I get where they were coming from. They just wanted those two friends to be on alert because they live in that area. And, they want to look out for them. That's it. Now, I kid you not. 2 weeks later, both of those people who they texted about that, both of their cars had gotten broken into and all of their valuables were stolen out of their car. Immediately, I texted them and I said, like, do you guys need anything? Please let me know. But on the flip side, in the back of my head, I was just remembered to when that friend had texted them and they told them about that. Now, that friend, by letting them know about that in the manner that they did, they shifted that energy towards them, even if it wasn't consciously done. By just saying, like, hey, I just want you guys to know that there's these things happening in your area. The fact that it happened to both of them and this friend told both of them, it's just a little bit too ironic to me, How could that have been prevented? Perhaps if that friend would have maybe prayed for their protection, just say, like, I want you guys to be on the lookout, but know at the same time that I'm praying for you. So you're letting them know, but at the same time, you're casting spiritual protection by putting out goodwill for them at the same time. A lot of the times when we're worried or we're anxious about something and we're sharing it with someone and we're putting out so much fear, anxiety, or anger, that energy can actually cast bad will upon that person. And that's going back to just how powerful our tongue is. So you have the power to bless or you have the power to curse. And it can be in the way that you're speaking. So those are two examples that I wanted to give you guys just to talk about certain circumstances that I've had in my life. I've had a lot of them, but we don't want to go down that line. I just wanted to give you guys some quick examples, okay? Another thing that I want to talk about is how are we speaking about our struggles? This kind of falls in alignment with the stat story. If it's something that we are worried or concerned about, are we speaking about it like it's going to be, just the end of the world? Or are we saying, I'm scared about this, but I'm willing to work through it? I think about sometimes when I may have been struggling at certain jobs and I may have been saying, I'm not doing that well in this area, but I'm willing to grow with it and work with it. I noticed that I was able to grow over time by doing that. And I feel like that's something that's really helpful if you're struggling, acknowledging that, not pushing under the rug, but saying at the same time, I'm really willing to work through it. And something in the spiritual community that's not talked about is that oftentimes we're looking at the external side of psychic protection and we're saying, okay, this person did this to me or this is happening, but we're never looking in at ourselves because a lot of the times we may be attracting these situations to us. So taking that responsibility and saying, what did I do, or was there something that I said that may have attracted this energy to me? And a lot of the times it can be very helpful as well, because in the future you can say, okay, let me speak about these things in this way. How do I want it to happen? Because ultimately we are the drivers of our life. So if we are talking about something in a certain way, we're planning it in a certain way, it's going to happen in the exact same terms that we spoke it. Of course, spirit and the universe, God always throws stuff at us that we may not know, we may not be aware of, and these are tests. But it's really important to be your own counsel and to use your discernment as well. Okay, what are you talking about, and what are you giving your energy to? Okay, so a lot of times in life, and this is something that I used to think about a lot in high school, especially when there was drama or people were talking about each other. When you're talking about something repetitively outside of yourself, and I'm not talking about in the caring sense, but if you're just gossiping, spreading drama, you are externalizing your energy. So you're giving your energy, we're giving our energy to those people. We're constantly gossiping and spreading drama. And what happens is that over time, we are giving our creative energy externally. We're pushing it out, but it's not being insulated within ourselves. So by not doing this, if there's something that you want in life, maybe a promotion, if there's something that you want to attract yourself, like a relationship, a certain milestone that you're trying to accomplish, if we never really prayed for it, if we never talked about it, it's not going to come to us. So thinking about it in that way too, about what are we giving our energy to? What are we focusing in on? Because whatever we're giving our energy to grows. This is really important. And this is something that we learn with time as we realize that the more things that we're putting our energy to, that they're growing, whether it's good or bad, it makes us become a lot more conscious and careful about what we're focusing in on and what we're talking about on a daily basis. A lot of the times when I'm at, a family event, when I'm with friends, at a job, and someone is not talking about someone in the most positive light, I just listen, but I don't respond or say anything. And then eventually when it stops, I will shift the subject, because if it's not conducive to the both of us, or not something, if it isn't something that needs to be talked about or isn't necessary, what is the point of talking about it, So you guys, really focusing in on what we're giving our energy to is very powerful, and something that it's just important to be conscious of in our daily lives. Another thing too that I want to talk about before I end this video is the power of prayer or affirmations. A lot of us pray, but it's rare that, when we're taught about prayer when we're kids, we're not really taught about what exactly it is. Of course, we know that we're speaking to God in the spirit, but also there's a factor that's missing in talking about prayer and affirmations and just how powerful they are. When you're praying for something, you're literally sending that message outward to the universe. When we're praying for something, it is being heard. If we're praying for things that are good, a lot of times we see those blessings manifest in our lives. It's really important to pray for good things and not bad things, because due to the law of karma, when we're praying for good things, blessings return upon us. When we're praying for bad things, that bad karma returns upon us as well. So recognizing the power of prayer, and just set it literally what it is. It's like a telephone line. You're picking it right up, bam, to God. Spirit is being heard. So exercising the power of prayer. If there's something that you're scared about, if there's something that you really want, just utilizing that voice, whether it be vocally or internally, and recognizing that there is power in it. If you guys have any stories or tips as well about the power of your words in alignment with spiritual protection, please drop your comment down below. Like and subscribe. Peace.